Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. In this episode, as you guys may have guessed, we are going to be covering the new and exciting Spec 3 update. So we'll be covering, of course, the two new tracks, some new cars has been added to the game. We're going to be covering a little bit on the power pack. A little bit later on into the episode, I'll give pretty much my thoughts about it when I do my demonstration race for it. And yeah, now this pretty much this patch notes was a huge amounts of stuff added to the game or changed. So if you want to check the whole entire list of everything that's been added or changed, I would recommend just check out the website itself. But I'll be covering, of course, the new cars, the new tracks, new engine swaps, and it's going to be quite, hopefully, a very helpful and great time for this episode. So yeah, we've have been waiting pretty long for this new Spec 3 update ever since we heard the news back in, I believe it was either September or October, and finally we'll be able to really experience new cars and of course the two new tracks. So much looking forward to show you guys all that is there to offer for this content. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the episode. Alright, so as soon as I start up the game, we are first going to go ahead and get our level 70 rewards for our collector level. So as you can see, we're going to jump from level 50 all the way up to level 70 just because we've got so many cars and there are so many points on the collector level. We've actually have earned some extra menu events since we actually reached that cap level. Same thing goes for the invitations. Once you reach the level 70, you're going to actually will earn rewards to pretty much limit you from getting any invitations for the game, which is really something that should have been added a long time ago in my opinion. But yeah, so I got myself all the invitations from all the cars. We don't need more invitations. There is the new power pack. We actually went ahead and purchased the power pack, so that's going to be the next thing we're going to be going through in this episode. As you can see, it's more of a colonial ship. Looks pretty nice, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the power pack first and just check it out. So you can see, as we're going to have the explanation from Sarah of how the power pack works. As you can see from the background of the map, there's pretty much of a very complex motherboard family tree, pretty much, of doing all kinds of racing events. There's all kinds of different countries, region races. So you got Japanese, of course, American, European, and other drivetrains races as well. So it's kind of reminds me of a mixture of probably, if you will, mix Gran Turismo 4, a little bit of Gran Turismo 3 type of racing, mixed in with today's standards with having the custom parts and, of course, the custom liveries. So if you do have the power pack in the game, you're going to have great racing from the AI. Depending on what car you get, it's going to be quite a game changer, per se. We'll discover more of it later on. The next thing I'll be covering next is, of course, going to be the cars. Now, we're going to go to the Legends cars first. I'm taking just a little bit of a look, see what's in here right now. We're going to be, our most focus is going to be the Espace F1. And by Renault, 1995, and I'm pretty sure this car became very nostalgic, especially from, I think it was GT2, I think. I, unfortunately, have never had the chance to actually drive this car. And judging by the performance, this car, or fan, whatever you want to call it, very interesting characteristics, very interesting stats as well. As you can see, the PP is right around 758, so you could technically either buff it to 800 standards or nerf it for 700 standards. So I most likely am going to try to do both races with this car, with both Le Mans and Sardinia, and see what I can come up with this car. So it's going to be very interesting to see what it is. The price, of course, is going to be $2 million. So if you have the cash flowing around, I will highly suggest grabbing that car before it leaves the Legends car dealership. For the rest of our cars, we're going to go ahead and go to Brand Central. Our very first category, or manufacturer per se, is going to be Ferrari. And I'm actually looking pretty forward to see what we got here for the Ferrari camp. So as we scroll down the list, there's the new 296 GTP from 2022. Stats overall, it's less than 700 pp, so it'll be one of those perfect cars to use for Le Mans, with over 818 horsepower, 546.1 for your max torque. The weight is 2341. To finish it up, the aspiration is a turbocharger, and it is a MR. So there's the look of the different paints. If you want to paint your car a different color, or of course you can put a racing livery if you want to in the car. It's going to cost you about 500,000 credits, so just make sure you have the cash flowing before you actually grab the car. For the 296 GT3, this is going to be the new Group 3 racing car. Now we're going to do ourselves a quick favor and do a comparison contrast. So starting off with the horsepower, we got 599 horsepower with 525 for the torque for the new Group 3 race car. For the weight, 2822, and of course the aspiration is turbocharger. Unfortunately, it is one base color, but we're going to go ahead and compare and contrast between this car and of course the 2011 version. So we're going to go back here. So for your max power is 599, 525 for the torque, and as you can see, the new car, matter of fact, has more torque, more horsepower, but it is heavier and it has turbocharger aspiration. So between the two, I think the 296 could potentially be the better of the two, in my opinion, just by stats alone, but I'm not too sure what it is in BOP. It's going to cost you 1.2 million credits, and that's going to be it for the Ferrari. For the Polestar, we got ourselves a new electric car brand, and the stats, pretty staggering. Less than 600 pp points, so this car technically can make it to Tokyo Expressway with 871 horsepower. Unfortunately for this car, it is an EV, and look at the weight, 5,518 pounds. So this car is literally 2.5 tons for the weight. So this car is pretty much a big brick. But I digress. If you want to try it, Tokyo Expressway, you're more welcome to try it. But unfortunately, Tokyo Expressway is not too friendly when it comes to EVs, so I doubt that the battery will actually last at Tokyo Expressway 600. Just 120,000 credits is the price tag for this car, and that's going to be it with the Polestar 5. So after you get that car, the next car is going to be the BNR34 GTR in one base, Mines GTR, and this car looks really cool. It's going to cost about 3 million credits. It's going to be the price tag for this car, but just by the way it looks and the stats, pretty good overall. And I'm going to try to see if I can nerf it to make it to Tokyo standards, but I think this car might be a better fit for Le Mans. But I'll have to wait and test it out and see what I can come up with this car. And unfortunately, the price tag is, of course, 3 million credits. As you can see for last time, the PP is right at 643 with 621 horsepower, 463.4 for torque, the weight at 2976, and to finish up, the aspiration is a turbocharger, and of course, it is a all-wheel drive car. So, pretty expensive car, but if you have the credits lying around, I would suggest grabbing it. For our next car is going to be the Formula 1, the F3500B. Here's all the color palettes you could choose for this car. And surprisingly, I was actually shocked to realize that this particular car is not quite as strong or stronger than its counterpart, the 3500A. As we get back and forth, the PP is a little bit lower. The horsepower is also lower too. It's got a little bit more torque, and it's also a little bit lighter. But other than that, the B is more toward, in my opinion, more like a Formula 1.2 per se, or maybe a weaker version of its counterpart. So, pretty interested about that. We're gonna go ahead and pick what I believe is supposed to be Michael Schumacher's. I think this is Jordan's 7-Up livery. I believe that's what I'm thinking. That's what this is. It's going to cost you about 1 million credits. So again, if you have the spare credits, I would recommend getting that car. And that's going to be it for the cars. So the next thing we're going to quickly go through is going to be the scrapes. Of course, here's the Yas Marina circuit with all the different angles you could take screenshots from. So if you want to go ahead and post some stuff either on your Instagram, your Facebook, or any other social account, just showing what Spec 3 is all about. Here are some different angles you can take pictures from this particular track, and this track is actually a gorgeous racetrack, especially with that glowing bridge right there too. The Circuit GV Nouveau is also another historical track in the Montreal, Canada GP, a lovely racetrack. So if you want to take some pictures right here too, you're more welcome to do that as well. And to finish it up, tuning shop. This is actually Masters of Speed and Tuning. So here's all different angles of tuning shops that you can take pictures from for your cars, or any kind of car that's actually modified or tuned out with a special livery. You can also take pictures right here too. And that's going to be pretty much it from the scrapes. So good looking scrapes that they add to this garage for this update. So there you go. If you have a particular screenshot, glamour shot you want to take for your car, then hopefully that will help you out in your posting. So as soon as we get done with the tuning shop, we're going to go to the extra menus at GT Café. As you can see, we got ourselves 4 new extra menus right here. And you can also see from the top right, we got ourselves a seasonal menu, but we'll check on that in a second. So we'll scroll all the way down to our first one. Is going to be 48, which is going to be the Alfa Romeo Legends, 49, 50, and 51. We're going to do this in order, so we're going to first tackle this one first. And for this one, I could go ahead and tell you this, that all cars will be fine in the Legends car dealership. Unfortunately, the one on the left is going to be the most expensive. The one in the middle, of course, it's going to be a race car. It's going to cost you a couple million for that one. And of course, the Alfa Romeo 155 2.5 V6 is going to be the cheapest of all 3. So roughly, you need probably about 25 to 30 million credits, in my opinion, just to complete this particular book. But you'll get yourself a 6-star ticket once you actually get all 3 cars from the Alfa Romeo collection. After that, we're going to swing down to the legendary road cars, and just like before, you need to get that Alfa Romeo again. It's added in here. You also need the Maserati and the Porsche Spider Type 5550. I think you would need at least, maybe in my opinion, 10 million credits just to probably get all 3 of these. I could be wrong, but I think that should give you just enough of a clearance just to clear this particular extra menu. As you can see, that's a pretty neat shot right there. And again, you get yourself another 6-star ticket. Thankfully for the Audi TTs, you can get all 3 of these cars at Brand Central, and these 3 cars are a lot more affordable than the previous 2 extra menus. So I think you probably roughly need 150 to 200,000 credits. Might not be not that many, but after you get that, you get yourself a 4-star ticket. And then finish up with Mazda. The first cars, the convertible, is going to be used car dealership, while these 2 right here, the CX-30 Smart Edition and the RX Vision, is going to be from Brand Central. And I think you probably need maybe at least 1 million credits, I think. Maybe. I could be wrong. I can't remember right off the bat how much the Vision costs, but it's going to be a pretty penny. But that's going to be it for that. Now we got ourselves some seasonal menu, which is pretty interesting that they actually add this. And pretty much if you gather at least 3 cars within the time frame, you actually get yourself an additional reward. So that actually is pretty cool. And as you can see, all 3 cars you can see here is what I have gathered up. And I forgot to mention, but of course the Panda C30CL and the FTO Mitsubishi GP are both currently at the used car dealership. I forgot to mention that, which I do apologize. So if you do have credits, I would recommend just getting those and you'll be good to go. At least probably both combined, at least maybe 100,000 credits, and you'll be good. After that, we are now going to discover about the 2 new tracks. And of course, they add in the event dictionary directory right there where World Circuit is at. So they actually went ahead and strengthened the weekly challenges as well. That's what they had from last night since I recorded this. But we're going to go ahead and tackle Circuit Jules Neuve over in Canada. We're going to do this first. We're going to do the experience first. do a 1 lap attack, and then we are going to do the lap tracker for this track as well, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing at this racetrack. We're going to be using the GT3 Mercedes-Benz for this particular circuit experience. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much shut up, let you guys see this lap, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I really love this new mode. It just basically shows you where I'm putting the car at the track, my breaker points, and acceleration. Right now, we're braking. We're going to let the brake a little bit, get back on the gas. We're going to brake hard, let the roll naturally halfway through the apex, back on the power, and ride that car to the wall. And it's pretty cool seeing this tracker, just being able to track the speed I'm traveling. You can see the race line I'm taking as well when I'm shifting into a gear. And this is going to be really helpful whenever I am doing Tokyo Expressway 600 builds. That way it gives you guys an idea of what the car is doing whenever I do my hot lap. Now, unfortunately, I think this particular tracking device only works through time trials. I don't think you can do a single race with this particular menu, which is unfortunate. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a time trial run with whatever car I'm going to do for the episode, and that way we can just compare notes and see what it's doing. But as we get to the hairpin, we're going to brake very hard. We go left, and then we're going to pretty much be very close to that apex, close to the right side. Get the car straightened out, back on the power. We're going to shift the gear. And throughout here, we're going to be full power. And this Mercedes-Benz actually has some real strong power. We're going to actually hit right above 170. Once we actually do hit our braking point through the Wall of Champions, we're going to cap right at 173. We're entering the heavy braking zone. Through here, we're going to lift a little bit, back on the power, get the car straightened out, drive it as straight as possible. And that's going to be our lap at Montreal. So very quick time overall. We of course hit gold, which actually was great. Now we're going to go to Abu Dhabi. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to shut up, let you guys see what the Ferrari is doing, and then I'll be right back for that tracker lap. Okay, so at Abu Dhabi, I'm pretty much familiar with this track because I've actually have driven and played some certain F1 games in my past couple of years, so I'm actually pretty much well known this track. First turn, we're going to brake back on the power, and this Group 3 race car actually felt really, really good. It felt so smooth. The only thing that was different, of course, is going down the hill. I know there used to be a little chicane hairpin through there. Look, apex, very smooth, close to the left side of the road. Got back on the power, and then we enter in this very, very long straightaway. A great place to pass and a great place to activate DRS, of course. We're going to go all the way through here. Then we're going to enter in a very deep braking zone right about there. As we're going to slow the car down, we're going to first hit that first clip of that orange curb. Then we're going to hit that second one as well. We're going to try to keep the car on the road as possible and not hit that green stuff on the side of the track. Again, another semi-small straightaways. We're going to brake again in a couple seconds. As you'll see right about passing that sector, we're going to hit the brakes. We're going to get close to the apex as well. We're going to play with the throttle a little bit too. As you can see right through here, we actually do get back to power, and this is why I did my little slip up. You can see the car actually does get a bit loose. Thankfully, I was able to correct it. Then we're going to hit the brakes, that first apex, and then we're going to hit the brakes again. And through here, we're actually going to short shift into, I guess it was third gear, and basically keep the car under control, pretty much doing control, throttling, controlling the braking, and then through this last couple of corners, just taking care of the car and just making sure we don't make a mistake. And this car just felt really, really good around this racetrack. As we come to the finish line, of course, we actually did hit a gold lap time, which I was very pleased. And yeah, the car was really, really good. So hopefully that helps out. So we're going to quickly do a lightning round with the engine swaps, starting off with Team Chevrolet first. Unfortunately, for all the Chevrolet cars that you're going to see here in the next couple of seconds, each of these Chevrolets are going to be using the Chiron engine swap, which is quite unfortunate. I was hoping for something a little bit different, but unfortunately for these four Chevrolet cars, it's going to be the same Bugatti Chiron engine swap. So, which is quite, a little bit frustrating and a little bit annoying. Just was hoping something different for these cars, but that's the way it is. But no need to be, upset about it, because we got a whole lot more cars to go through. We got at least 21 in total. So these Chevrolets, they don't, to me personally, they don't really count since they are using the Bugatti Chiron engine swap. So after we get through the Chevrolets, our first legit engine swap, in my opinion, is going to be the Pantera. It's going to be the Lamborghini Aventador L539 SV. And you better believe I'm going to try this car with that engine swap using the Aventador. And I cannot wait to see what we can do for that car. So hopefully it'll be good. It's going to be, of course, a Tokyo build. I cannot wait to get to do my magic, see what I can do, and hopefully it is an amazing build. We'll just have to wait and see how it all turns out. But that's going to be it for the Pantera. For the Shelby GT350R, unfortunately, it falls in the same class as the Chevrolet. Now, I actually have mine up to upgraded, so that's why the PP is lower. For the F3500A, actually has two swaps and are new to the game. You can actually, one, nerf your engine to the V8 3500B, or you can do the RS54 or the RS4 E-Space. And yeah, I'm actually was quite a little bit surprised that both the 3500A and B are offered two engine swaps. So if you're probably thinking about doing your own personal league, then this is going to really help out with your own personal league. If you guys want to have your own personal F1 league with a certain engine specification, then this is going to really help you out a lot. For our next car, it's going to be the N1 RS22, and as you can see, we got ourselves a pretty hefty engine swap. It's going to cost about 600,000 credits. It's going to be the 2 and 4 car. The car looks like a NASA buggy, that car. And as you can see by the stats, it really increases everything about it. The max power goes to 211. I'm kind of actually am scared to see what this car can do with this swap. I could try it out, but at the same time, I really don't want to, because I'm just afraid it's going to pretty much ruin it. For our next car, it's going to be from the Lamborghini family, the Urus. And unfortunately for the Urus, it also has a Bugatti Chiron engine swap as well. So that's going to be a Le Mans build for sure. For the Mazda Spirit Racing Miata, for 225,000 credits, it's actually going to be the 13B RX-7 engine swap. And I'm actually willing to try to see if this car is going to be compatible to Tokyo Expressway and see if I can actually bring this car to life in Tokyo Expressway 600 or even Le Mans 700 and see what this car can do. So can't wait to try it out, and hopefully it will be a pretty big help of a build. Next car is going to be, of course, the new FTO GP version R from Mitsubishi, and surprisingly it gets the Evo Final Group B engine swap, so you can see it really brings the car to life. And I'm actually going to be terrified to try this car out at Tokyo Expressway 600 and see what it can do. Hopefully it will work, and if it somehow does not work, I will, of course, we'll try this at Le Mans with its engine swap and see what it can do. So I'm going to be very interested to see what performance is like. For the R32 GTR Nismo from 1990, it actually has the R826 DET Mines, which I believe is probably the new Mines car, or maybe the C-tuned Mines engine swap. But yeah, it's going to cost well over $1 million. For the Megane Trophy, it has the RS4 E-Space engine, and you can tell that it brings this car to life. So this is going to be easily a Le Mans build. Not too sure about a Tokyo build, but I'll have to wait and see how it turns out. For the Carry KC, this particular racing truck, it has the 2M4 engine swap as well. And very interesting choice. It does bring this truck to life somewhat. I'll be very curious to see what it can do with that engine swap. For the A6GRMN, we got ourselves the LFA engine swap. I'll be more than willing to try this out too at Tokyo Expressway. Can't wait to hear that winding sound of that LFA in this Toyota. Hopefully it will be a good build. Thinking more toward Le Mans and Tokyo, but I think Le Mans might be the better suit for it. And then for the 2019 GR Super RZ 19, it's going to be the RS4 Space. So yeah, this car also gets an F1 engine too. So it's going to be crazy to see what this Supra can do with this engine swap. Might be more of a Le Mans build, but again, I'll have to do my little magic and see what I can come up with for that tune. So we basically have almost covered all of the engine swaps. For our last engine swap, it's going to be, of course, one of the cars from the Power Pack. It's going to be the Skyline GTR GP tuned. It's going to be using the LC28B Skyline, and you can tell it just really increases the PP by a good bit. It could be a Tokyo build. I'll just have to do my little magic and see what I can do with it. But I think more honestly, it could be more of a Le Mans build than a Tokyo build. But yeah, very quick car overall. I tried it out in the Power Pack race and it was very, very quick. So for the Power Pack race for this car, or for this particular race, we actually are at the GT500 categories. We're just now finished up qualifying. And as you can see, you can actually choose from 3 cars. You have an easy car, a medium difficulty car, and a hard car. And for this race, I got myself the medium strength car, which is going to be the GTR Nismo from 1999. The easy car for this track is, of course, going to be the Toyota Supra RZ, which is what Durmont has. And then the hardest car to drive for this particular track is the Honda NSX from 2000. And the reason why they have it is because there's 3 main K factors to look out for. It's going to be your horsepower, your acceleration, and your lateral G's. As you can see, there's basically the whole lineup. You got practice, qualifying, and race. That's what they pretty much advertised in that whole entire update. And for each race, whenever you do the Power Pack races, you actually have the opening animation like you would if you were entered in either a Manufacturer's Cup or a Nations Cup. So it goes down the list. You can't skip it. And I've actually done some other races too, and if you're doing a rolling start, it'll do the same thing as well while your cars are actually still rolling forward. So love the shots and love the angles of these particular cars, and I just want to let you guys have an idea what to expect if you're dealing with Sophie 3.0. And this Sophie 3.0 AI update, it is incredible. If you have a particular car let's say if you had like the worst car to choose from. It's a very challenging race, and you can see from the start, not the best start, we're going to lose some spots, but since we got ourselves a racing line to go off from, we're going to go a bit wide, and we're going to try to recapture all those spots except for one. But I can tell by the GTR, it still has some power. Might not be as much power as the Supra, but I actually was feeling pretty comfortable with this race car, and the car just felt really, really good. Now, as you can see, the McLaren F1 GTR actually got the pole, but that driver actually fell way back in 8th place. So, the guy who got the pole got himself a monstrous lap. We are actually going to have ourselves quite a very, very intense battle between ourselves and Durmont in that red Supra. And he's going to be hanging out around with us for a good couple of corners. There he is right there. He's got the power advantage over us. For us, we'll just have to defend and take real, be able to really outperform him in these corners. So these corners is going to be essentially our best friend, and making sure we do follow the right lines and try to get away from Durmont, because this car is a literal rocket ship when it comes to main straight pace. And usually when you do these power pack races, you might have one competitor that's very, very going to be close to your speed. Sometimes two. It just all depends on what car you have and what's your favorite track to be at. If you're really good at a track, you can have some really good racing with the AI. As you see, Durmont, he's going to easily bypass us in the straight. There he is right there in that blue triangle, and you can see how easy it is for him. But luckily for us, like I said before, as long as we stay with him, plus of course we have better handling than his car, we are able to pretty much outperform him in these other sectors, but it's going to be our best hope for this race. So he gets away, we're going to actually get a better racing line, got a great apex, got a great exit. We're going to force the issue, and we're going to give it a little bit of a nudge, and just like that, we're actually going to retake the lead. And after going through the sectors correctly, being at the right lines, as we do make contact again from him, we are going to basically just go away from him. But the lead wasn't not as major as you would compared to an AI. It was around 8 to 9 seconds. So even though we actually had a pretty comfortable win, it was not really as comfortable compared to, let's say, a hard AI strength in the game. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for the game. I did fail to mention about another engine swap, but I'll make sure and mention it in the next episode. But yeah, for our next preview is going to be the Pantera. And I'm going to be curious to see what it can do at Tokyo Expressway 600. So I'm looking forward for that. Thank you again, guys, for staying behind for this episode. Hopefully it helps out, and hopefully everything was clear that I mentioned. If you guys would like to subscribe to the channel, it's up to you, but I really appreciate you guys' support for this channel as we reach 4,500 subscribers. So I thank you guys for your support for this channel, and can't wait to show you guys some more content later down the road. Until then, I'll see you guys later, and take care. And I'll see you guys when we get back at Tokyo Expressway 600 with the Pantera.